Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the World Sports and Entertainment Network. I'm your host, DB Love. This is a new episode, a new show here on the network. This is the World Football Alliance Crunch Time. What we're doing with this new show, in an effort to speed up the World Football Alliance season, kind of move through the season a little faster. So we can also work in the United States Basketball Championship games, which if you haven't watched, check those out here on the network. But what we're doing here in WFA Crunch Time, we're going to show you highlights from one Alliance Division game and one United Division game, and then we'll cover the entire league here on Crunch Time. So there will be one show for every week in the whole World Football Alliance here on World Football Alliance Crunch Time. So let's get right into this first episode of Crunch Time. We are starting in Week 10 of the World Football Alliance. In the Alliance Division here in Week 10, we had 4 teams on a bye: Portland, Chicago, Houston, and Mexico. Let's talk about the Week 9 Players of the Week in the Alliance Division. Offensive Player of the Week from last week was Cooper Watson, quarterback for Oklahoma City Nighthawks. Cooper went 35 of 45, 356 yards, and 4 touchdowns. On the defensive side of the ball, Matthew Rucker, right end for the San Diego Aftershock, had 4 tackles. 2 of those were sacks. He had a fumble recovery and a touchdown. Actually, that may supposed to be 14 tackles instead of 4. I may have did a typo there. Either way, Matthew Rucker was your Defensive Player of the Week. Had a great week. Now let's get to some scores from the Alliance Division in Week 10. Starting things off, we had Austin taking on Sacramento. Sacramento won that one 27-21. Sacramento improves to 3-4. Austin Desperados fall to 1-5. Moving along, we had San Antonio taking on the Brooklyn Barons. Brooklyn Barons win that one to go to 6-1. San Antonio falls to 3-3. Brooklyn won that one 34-20. Next up, Columbus Aviators took on those Oklahoma City Nighthawks. Aviators won that one 48-30. Aviators improved to 5-1. Nighthawks fall to 3-4. Next up, we had London taking on Toronto. London with an upset in that one. London won that one. Toronto won that one 31-16. Toronto improves to 4-2. London falls to 2-6. And then the last game in the Alliance Division, we had Memphis taking on the Orlando Wizards. Memphis won that one 33-19. Memphis improves to 5-2. Wizards fall to 3-4. So let's talk about some standings here in the Alliance Division before we get to the highlight from the Alliance Division this week. In the Alliance Division, leading the way is the Brooklyn Barons at 6-1. In second place in the division, Columbus Aviators are 5-1. Then you've got the Memphis Hounds coming in at third at 5-2, and the Toronto Thunderbirds come in at fourth at 4-2. So that's a quick recap of the Alliance Division in Week 10. Let's get you to the Week 10 highlight from the Alliance Division. The San Diego Aftershock taking on Salt Lake City. Check it out.
And Salt Lake City open up the scoring here. Stork hits the receiver for the touchdown on the first drive of the game for a early 7-0 lead. And following the Salt Lake City touchdown, San Diego drive right down the field to even things up at 7. Angelo Grant takes the handoff and walks it in for the Aftershock. And after driving back down the field, Salt Lake City get another touchdown there after a big 3rd and long conversion pass from quarterback Anthony Stork. He hands that off to Marshall, the running back, for a touchdown and a 14-7 lead halfway through the first quarter. And very next play, first offensive play for San Diego after the Salt Lake City touchdown to take the lead. Salt Lake City intercepts Solomon Byers of San Diego to get the football right back. We jump ahead to the second quarter now after both teams added a couple field goals. Anthony Stork, his second passing touchdown of the game. He hits Phillips for this one to add to the Salt Lake City lead. They lead by 14. Salt Lake City now on the 1-yard line after kicking off after their last touchdown. On the return, they forced San Diego to fumble the football. They recovered it, so they would start this drive at the 30. A few quick plays, and Salt Lake City are right back in the end zone. Marshall with the rushing touchdown. Salt Lake City pushed their first half lead to 21. They lead 31-10. 11:54 remain in the first half. And there it is, another Salt Lake City touchdown here in the first half after a long pass play from Anthony Stork to receiver C.J. Bidwell. Got him down in the red zone. Devin Marshall finished it off with his 3rd rushing touchdown of the day. Salt Lake City dominating this half 38-10. And that does it for our first half. Salt Lake City dominating every category there, leading 38-10. Salt Lake City opened the scoring. Anthony Stork hitting the receiver there for the touchdown. Angelo Grant would answer back by the Aftershock to tie the game at 7. Touchdown, Salt Lake City. They add another one very late into the 3rd quarter. Stork hits Pitta for his 3rd touchdown pass of the day. Touchdown, San Diego. For the first time since the first quarter, the Aftershock get on the board. Starting quarterback Solomon Byers has been knocked out of the game. That pass was thrown by backup quarterback and hit the receiver. That was the receiver's first touchdown reception of his career. Salt Lake City lead 45-20. And that's gonna do it for this ball game, folks. San Diego drive down the field, have a 4th and goal, and the pass intercepted by Salt Lake City to put the game away. And here's your final. Salt Lake City dominate this one, winning 45-22. Here's a look at some highlights. Devin Marshall had a huge day with 3 touchdown runs. Anthony Stork also had a huge day with 3 touchdown passes. There's 2 of them there. There was the 3rd. Elks dominate this game.
And there you have it, Salt Lake City with an impressive win there over the Aftershock. Salt Lake City improved to 4-3. Aftershock fall to 4-3. So that gets you up to date in the Alliance Division. So let's head on over to the United Division of the World Football Alliance. 4 teams on a bye this week in the United Division. Oklahoma City Bison, San Antonio, Portland, and Memphis all on a bye. The Week 9 Players of the Week in the United Division. Offensive Player of the Week, Griffin Wallace, halfback for the London Monarchs. Griffin had 22 carries for 127 yards and 2 touchdowns. Defensive side of the ball, Defensive Player of the Week in Week 9 for the United Division, Hunter Hundley, middle linebacker for the Brooklyn Beats. Hunter had 14 tackles, an interception, and a touchdown. So congratulations to those guys. Now there are scores for this week, Week 10 in the United Division. We'll start things off. Those London Monarchs with Griffin Wallace took on those Brooklyn Beats with Hunter Hundley. So the both players of the week from last week colliding this week in Week 10. London Monarchs and Griffin Wallace come out on top 35-30 over those Brooklyn Beats. Monarchs improved to 3-2. Brooklyn Beats fall to 4-4. Moving along, Salt Lake City took on Chicago. Salt Lake City won 20-14. They improved to 4-3. Chicago falls to 3-3. Moving along, Columbus Caps took on the Toronto Huskies. Huskies won that one 35-28. They improved to 3-4. Columbus Caps fall to 3-5. Up next, Houston took on Mexico City. Houston won that one 20-13. They improved to 3-5. Mexico City falls to 2-5. And last up, Sacramento took on the San Diego Crusaders. Crusaders won that one 24-17. They improved to 3-5. Sacramento falls to 3-4. Before we get into the standings in the United Division for Week 10, we're going to get you to the highlight because the highlight has a lot to do with those standings. This week's game of the week in the United Division was between two teams tied for first in the division. Dublin Celtic Tigers and Austin Armadillos, both in a three-way tie at 4-1 atop the United Division. So check this highlight out.
And we start things off here in Austin. Long pass play, Roy Delta Williams there for the Dublin Celtic Tigers. These two teams tied atop the standings in the United Division. Winner of this will move into first place here in the United Division. A lot riding on this game. Interesting note, in the very first possession for Dublin, all-star running back Martinez Drake got knocked out of the game on the very first offensive play. 2 plays later, his more than capable backup Jakari Mail was also knocked out of the game. So Dublin working with their third string running back Gerard Durham here. After that long pass play from Roy Dale got him down inside the 5. They are looking to try to stick it in the end zone here. As Durham gets stuffed again, it brings up 3rd and goal. Dublin looking to break the scoreless drought here still in the first quarter. Dale drops back, rolls left, throws incomplete. Austin had a field goal attempt on the opening drive of the game. The Austin kicker had the kick bounce off the upright, so here's Dublin to try to break the scoreless drought and take a 3-0 lead. 2.5 minutes remaining. First quarter, kick is up and good. Touchdown Armadillos. Cooper Chamorro hits the receiver to open the second quarter. First touchdown of the game. Chamorro to Stone there up the right side. Armadillos take the lead in this important game 7-3. Dale does it again, hitting the receiver, making a huge yardage down the field to inside the 5-yard line. Let's see if the Celtic Tigers can stick it in on this possession. First and goal from the 2-yard line. Durham fumbles the football, picked up by Acho. Turnover. What a disaster for the Celtic Tigers. Gerard Durham gets drilled by big number 50, fumbles the football, scooped up by Acho. And very first play off the turnover, Chamorro to Stone again, quick wide receiver screen. Stone breaks it up the left side for huge yardage all the way from his own 5 to inside his red zone. Stone having a good game so far today. It'll be first and 10 from the 17 for the Armadillos. Chamorro takes the snap, dumps it underneath to Little, who gets inside the 10. First catch for Little. It'll be second and 3 Armadillos. Chamorro takes the snap, again dumps it to Little for the first down, down to the 5-yard line. Armadillos moving the ball extremely well, come out in a power I on first and goal from the 5. It's a play action, Chamorro back across his body to the receiver for the touchdown and a 14-3 lead for the Armadillos. And Dublin get on the board with their first touchdown. Roy Dale hits Williams up the left side for the touchdown to make it 14-10 here in the second quarter. All right, that gets us to halftime. Your score 14-13, Austin leading. Take a look at some first half highlights. First touchdown of the game, Chamorro hits Stone up the right side for a touchdown. Gerard Durham would then fumble the football on his own goal line, recovered by Austin. Austin would then drive all the way down the field. Chamorro would get his second touchdown pass to make it 14-3. Dublin would fight back and get on the board behind the arm of Roy Dale in the hands of the receiver Williams there. Finally get him in the end zone to make it 14-10. Dublin would then add a field goal at the end of the first half. Off to the third we go, 14-13. Armadillos lead the Dublin Celtic Tigers. Celtic Tigers take the lead. Roy Dale hits Mayberry for the touchdown, his 5th touchdown reception of the year. 5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Celtic Tigers take the lead for the first time in this game. They lead 19-14. They will go for 2 to try to make the lead a 7-point lead. Dale takes the snap, drops back, scrambles left, throws left, ruled incomplete. With 5:29 remaining in the third, Celtic Tigers lead 19-14. Oh my goodness, what a touchdown pass for Cooper Chamorro of Alston, scrambling to his right, fires it downfield, complete for the touchdown to give the Armadillos the lead. 13.5 minutes remain in the fourth quarter. Still a lot of football to be played. but the Armadillos take the lead 24-19 off an outstanding pass by Cooper Chamorro. Fumble, Gerard Durham's second fumble of the game. He catches a pass out of the backfield, stripped of the football. Again recovered by Alston. Second forced fumble for the Armadillos. Comes up big in the fourth quarter as they lead. All right, from the 1 yard line, Austin Armadillos looking to extend their lead. Chamorro rolls out right, scrambles in for the touchdown to continue his phenomenal day. 3 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown. Armadillos extend their lead in this all-important game in the United Division to 30-19. You take another look at Chamorro scrambling in there. Pass intercepted by Alston inside the 5. Third forced turnover for the Armadillos. This pass picked off by Hampton. Roy Dale got injured a couple plays earlier. That was backup quarterback Graham Willie who threw that pass, picked off by Hampton for the Armadillos to put this game away. It looks like minute and a half remain. Alston lead 31-19. Injuries have just struck the Celtic Tigers today. There, Roy Dale getting injured a few plays ago. In the first drive of the football game, both first string and second string running backs, Martinez Drake and Jakari Mayo, who have both had phenomenal seasons, both got knocked out of the football game early. Alston gonna try to hold on to this one to take a lead, first place in the United Division. That's gonna do it for this one in Austin, Texas. Hometown Armadillos beat the visiting Celtic Tigers in a battle for first place in the United Division. Both teams came into this one 4-1. Austin will move into sole possession of first place with that win. Great game by Cooper Chamorro, quarterback for Austin. 3 passing touchdowns. There was that phenomenal touchdown pass. 1 rushing touchdown to his name. You see all stats led by Alston, only a few yards behind in passing. Injuries really hit Dublin in this one.
And there you have it. Austin Armadillos win a very important game in the United Division. So let's get to the standings now after that game. Through 10 weeks in the United Division, Austin Armadillos with that win sit atop the United Division by themselves at 5-1. They move a half game ahead. The Portland Lumberjacks, who are 4-1, sitting in second. With that loss, Dublin Celtic Tigers fall to 4-2. They will sit third in the United Division, followed by the Oklahoma City Bisons, who are at 4-2. And the London Monarchs, who are at 3-2. So there you have it. That wraps up this first edition of World Football Alliance Crunch Time. We're going to move through the World Football Alliance. Join us next week for week 11 of the World Football Alliance. Be sure to check out the United States Basketball Championship. Coming up, we will have a game. From that, it will be the San Francisco Dragons taking on those Anaheim Darkwings. Be sure to check that out. Thanks for tuning in. Please subscribe to the network, like the video, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks.